What it do, y'all? It's your girl Makeup and Travel, and for today's video I am doing a palette roundup. I've got all my palettes right here. All right, and I'm just gonna kind of go through them now. Compared to my last video, I took the time to talk about all the price per ounce, all that jazz during the video. Because of the forecast that's going on and my lighting, I am just going to put all of that information on the screen and I will not be talking about them. I'm just going to be talking about my impressions of the palettes and the shadows, etc, etc. The other thing I wanted to talk about is my mouth. I did come from the dentist. I have done a video prior to this one, but I still have a little bit of numbing situations on with my lips. So if my lips look a little funky, I'm sorry, but this is the only day I could record for next week. And I know you guys really want me to keep up with my video, so I'm doing my best that I can. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and go from drugstore to high-end, and I'll put ND at the end. All right, so let's get into it. First I have 3 palettes from Nicka K. Now I got these palettes, oh I'm sorry, and I also want to talk about, this is a video series that I created inspired by Andrea Montilio's videos. I will link her channel and her one of her videos down below so that you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's get back to it. So I got these Nicka K shadows because Makeup Struggles talks about them a lot, not a lot, but she talks about them a decent amount, and she says how they're good for the price. These are $3.99 and you get 4 shadows in each quad, as it is a quad. They're all metallic and they are really nice. I like these without even having to put any form of fixing medium at all. I think these really are nice quads. I like that they stayed in the same color family, and at most they added like a silver with these cool tones, they added a gold with these warmer tones, you know. So I really like the arrangement of colors, and the best part about it is that regardless of how many quads I got, none of them the colors overlap. So I really like these. I am debating on whether I'm going to depot these like she did, or if I'm going to keep them in these quads. And then in addition, I might actually go ahead and get the other, I think there's 2 more quads. I just wanted to get these because these were the ones that were really drawing me in because of the colors. As you guys see, purple, blue, and green. These are the colors I put on my eyes a lot. But yeah, I would recommend these if you're in the market for some metallic shadows and you don't want to put too much money into them. I would recommend these. These are really nice. And like I said, all the information breakdown where you can purchase them, all of them will be coming up on the side of the screen. Which side, I won't know till I edit, but it will be coming up. Okay, drugstore. The only other drugstore palette that I have to talk about is this Makeup Revolution Emily's The Want palette. Now this palette, of course, like everybody else, I got because I was so happy that Emily Noel finally had a collab. I thought she definitely deserved it compared to all of these other beauty YouTubers, bloggers that keep getting collabs. I think she has definitely put in her dues. Now, as for this palette, hopefully I'm not blinding you guys, but as for this palette, I don't think all of these shadows are made the same. So these 2 shadows that are named after her daughters are very pressed, and these are 2 shimmers. They're pressed extremely hard, so you can really not get that much pigmentation or really any opacity from these shadows. You really have to dig in to get them. I would say almost every other shimmer is decent in the sense that you can do that, except for these 2. These 2 are on the same stance as this, if not even a little bit worse. Yeah, the mattes, I like almost all of the mattes. The only 2 mattes that I have a problem with are these 2, specifically mainly Corduroy. In her video, if you watched it, and if you didn't, I don't know how you got through without watching her video. Her video almost made me cry. It was so good. But Corduroy, she talks about how she liked it because when she applies it on her eyes, it stays the green that it is in the pan. On my complexion, on my eyes, with the method that I put them on, it does not. So that was a little disappointing. These 2 tend to kind of blend together, and that is slightly disappointing. But other than that, I mean, it's $20. You get what? 3, 6, 4, 6 times 4, 24. I used to be really good at math, and then I stopped having to take math classes, and it went yeah, 24. See, I had it. Always believe in yourself. I think the one shimmer that I like the best is Side Hustle, and I like, what is this, Heartbeat. I really like those two shimmers the best. And for me, I will say that all of these browns, these 4 browns, are unnecessary in my opinion, because really I can only use one of them to put a transition color, and then even then those are pretty light for me personally. Same with what is this, Love Tons and Cheers. Those two on my eye appear to be the same, so I don't believe that we really needed them. Like I said, I'm a different complexion than Emily Noel, so on her complexion it might actually appear to be differently. I like this purple family. It's a really interesting cool tone purple. It's really nice. I like that, and I like how it has these two. I really like the different purples. Overall, I like this palette. I think it is worth the $20. I think it's worth just purchasing overall. But like I said, there are definitely some things that I would change for me. Like I said, too many browns. These two shimmers are too hardly pressed. I don't like that. I don't like these two shadows particularly. Corduroy doesn't apply on my eyes as a green. It really just applies as like a really dark black with maybe like a slight green undertone. And then I think that these two shadows, that we didn't need both of them. But yeah, I would recommend this if these colors are up your alley and if you're okay with all of those things. Like I said, it is a good palette. I do like Makeup Revolution's formula, and I did want to point out that this is yet another formula difference from the Soph Does Nails and the Tammy palettes. So it seems that everybody is getting the chance to do their own formulation. Honestly, I can't keep up with the collabs that they are been releasing, but the 3 that I have, I'm really glad that I got, because I actually wanted to support those people. Okie dokie. Next, let's go into high end, and I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about this Natasha Denona Lila palette. It's looking really bad outside. So this is the mini Lila palette. I got this because I felt as though I was being hypocritical purchasing Pat McGrath stuff but not purchasing Natasha Denona stuff. So I wanted to go ahead and try her formula. And as you can see, this is a stupid easy color story. I mean, you can get a couple of looks out of this, but that's only if you don't use all the shadows. Using all the shadows, you're basically gonna get one look pretty much. But you could still get like 3 or 4 looks out of this palette. But anyways, I digress. I like the formulation. I like the mattes. They're blendable, they're pigmented, they're beautiful. The shimmers are nice, they're beautiful, pigmented. I have a problem with both of these being in this palette. Yes, they're different, but they're not different enough that I think they both need to be in here. I think that she could have put some more depth into this one to make this brighter purple really pop on your eyes. And this transition color, it's nice. I think this is a decent transition color for everybody. I think for me it's too light, but you know, from light to dark, I think it's a decent color. Overall, I like this palette. I'm not mad that I got it. Would I purchase another Natasha Denona palette? Maybe, but my problem is that she's been changing her formula a lot. So yeah, I may like this formula, but am I gonna like the palette formula that I purchased? You know what I mean? And to me, the only other palette that I have been dying to get is I believe it's Purple Blue. I believe that's the color story. I really want that palette because you guys know I love putting purples and blues and greens on my eyes. So I really would like that palette, but that was the one that's like $239. So I think I have to be beyond like my budgeting that I am right now. Right now, that's not in the budget. But maybe, you know, graduating from my master's degree or something like that, that'll be on my list. Maybe Christmas, parentals, friends, Natasha Denona, Purple blue palette. Okay, so the other two high-end palettes that I wanted to talk about next are the Smashbox Cover Shot palettes. Now, these palettes I feel like have gotten a bad rep. I think that these palettes are nice. I really do. I think that these have beautiful color stories, one, and have decent pigmentation. No, these aren't gonna be like a Divina pigmentation. Although, I will say that this one, this gray, which is, what is that color? Prism Break? I think this is Prism Break. This gray, it is on a Divina type level of pigmentation. The other one I will talk about clearly in a second. This palette has a new formula with these two shadows. I'm not particularly in love with that formulation. It is definitely chunky, and I definitely don't recommend digging into this palette like I did. You get way too much on your brush, and you have to really press and drag to get it onto your eye in a decent manner. The shimmers are nice. I think they're nice. I am not particularly fond of you guys maybe want to see, huh? These two shimmers right here, I'm not particularly fond of those, but the ones like actually in the palette up here, I do like. Like I said, those two are really chunky, so I'm not the biggest fan, and I really like that matte. That matte gray is like, that is a good matte gray. So overall, I like this palette. I like it for the color story, one, and mainly for the color story. I like the travel size of it, and I like the fact that you can build the shadows up. I know a lot of people don't like extremely pigmented shadows. I personally do, but for those who don't, I think these are really good palettes for you, because you can literally build up the pigmentation level on them, and you can build it up enough that it works on darker skin. Hopefully I'll try and put some photos around, because I have taken photos of all of these palettes on my eyes. And then the other one that I got is the Pinks and Palms palette. Now this one I was slightly disappointed in, and only because of this green. This green is like trash. It is so thin, and it builds up, but just not to the impact that I was really wanting from this color. So that's the part of this palette that really disappointed me. Everything else I like. Everything else I can build up. This pink is basically a transition color, and that's it on my complexion. You ain't getting much on that. But everything else, these four in the middle and these two, I really like about this palette. And like I said, I really like this color story. It was definitely unique and interesting, and that's why I got it. I like the compactness of it. Yeah, I like these palettes. They have an ultraviolet one coming out, and I am waiting patiently for it to release, and then I will most likely be purchasing it. Like I said, I like the formulation. I can deal with the formulation. I like that I can build it up to the amount that I want, and the shimmers are nice. That chunky new formula, what is the name of that? The new finish. It doesn't say the name of the finish. It just says new finish. Yeah, I don't really like it. Like it says on the sticker, going back to this Prism one, it says on the sticker to use your finger to get maximum payoff. I don't like using my finger. I feel like it pushes the product into the pan. That's why I used it with a brush, and with the brush it was just mirror. So if you want to get that Prism palette, I would suggest using a brush for those new formulations and spraying it, not digging into the pan, because it's gonna be a hot toddy mess. Just literally put some on there, spray your brush, and then go across your eye. So that's what I would recommend. All right, the last high-end shadows that I have to talk about are these Makeup Revolution shadows. Now, in my haul, I believe I only had these three and this one. Since then, as you can see, I have purchased more. They had a sale. I want to say it was 20% off, if not more. Oh, I can feel my lip. And I got some more. As you can see, clearly I liked something about this formula to get more. My thing about this formula is, just like some other formulas, every time I put these on my eyes, I love my look. And that does not happen often. So I really like this formulation. I got pretty much all of the shadows that I wanted. I got pretty much all of the colorful ones. And I got one of all of the formulations. So I have at least one of each of the formulations. So the mattes are beautiful. They're pigmented, blendable, nice. Satins, I like the satins. I'm not a huge satin person. That's just my cup of tea. I like matte or metallic. That's kind of my two realms, but I do like the satins as well. The shimmers are just that, shimmers. Makeup Revolution, yeah, not what a Makeup Revolution. Makeup Forever is a professional line, so they're gonna make sure that their shimmers are shimmers and their metallics are metallics. So for their shimmers, they're okay. They're not my like ride or die, because I'm not a huge shimmer person. I really like metallics, but I do like their shimmers and they do work on my complexion. Their metallics are beautiful. I really do like their metallics. I don't feel the need to add any more add a spray to get any better payoff on them. And then last, their iridescent is just that, iridescent. I'm pretty sure this is an iridescent. And I'll just swatch this, and you can see on my finger, hopefully, that there's not much payoff, and it literally goes onto your lid with basically just the shimmer. You literally just get an iridescent coloring of this thing. With the iridescence, I do like to spray my brush so that I can get a little bit better of a payoff. But I mean, if you buy the iridescence for them to be iridescent, you don't really need that, you know what I mean? So I do like these Makeup Forever shadows, and I love that they fit into this palette perfectly. This is one of my favorite Z palettes. This is from Freedom. I have like 4 of these and I love them. So yeah, this is my Makeup Forever palette, and yeah, I would recommend them. They also have really unique colors, like this khaki color, this matte, and this shimmer. Very unique. I don't think I've ever seen that before. And yeah, I just really like these colors. I like the performance of them, and I like the stuff. Now, these are not the cheapest single shadows that I purchased. I think these are the most expensive single shadows that I purchased, actually. But I've only gotten them on sale. I do not purchase these if they're not on sale. I got the first 6, I want to say, on some form of sale, and from Sephora, and then the other ones I got from the Makeup Forever website specifically. The only other thing I want to say about these is I made the mistake of getting a duplicate shadow, and when I attempted to return it, Makeup Forever was going to actually charge, they wanted me to pay for the postage to get it to them. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I probably will not be purchasing from the website ever again, just because, no. But yeah, I just wanted to make you guys aware of that, just in the event that you guys purchase something and then you don't like it and you want to return it. Just know that you're gonna have to pay for the postage to get it back to Makeup Forever. Okay, now all we have is indie. So let's go from cheapest on. Cheapest, I believe, is this. This is the Afrique palette from Juvia's Place. I'm just gonna knock them out the park. I'm just gonna get it out the way. The shimmers are beautiful. We always know that Juvia's Place's shimmers are always beautiful, so that's no surprise. And I think the neutral mattes are nice as well. My problem, unfortunately, is with Cote d'Ivoire and, was it Niger? Hold on. And Niger, yep. Cote d'Ivoire and Niger. These were the 2 that really caught my attention in this palette, clearly, because you guys know I love color. You might not know it if you've never seen a video other than today's, but I do love color. And these 2 were they were just disappointing in the way that I applied them. I'm still going to continue to work with this palette. I'm still going to use this palette. I mean, come on now. But this has definitely not knocked any of my favorite palettes from Juvia's off their podium. This is definitely going to stay in the corner. I will use it every so often, but I'm definitely not going to be hitting pan in this palette anytime soon. Yeah, to me, like I said, the Cote d'Ivoire and the Niger, they're okay, but they're not what I was expecting from Juvia's. So yeah, I mean, if you're a diehard Juvia's Place fan, I would say go ahead and get this palette. I love that I have this in my collection, but just know, in my opinion, the Niger and the Cote d'Ivoire colors are not up to par with typical Juvia's Place shadows. Okay, next I have my 4 colored Raine palettes. Like I said, I already had this Beauty Rest one, so I'm not even going to go ahead and talk about it because I've already talked about it on my channel, but I believe. But this one is Lovely's. Then we have Very Cute. And last but not least, we have Smoke Show. Now, I got these 3 palettes mainly because I am a collector. I got these three palettes because I'm a collector of colored Raine and I like to have all of their palettes. Now, Smoke Show is just not my cup of tea. I love smoky colors, but these are just extremely neutral. The only color in here really is that green. And the green is beautiful. I did use that in my tutorial. I wouldn't say it is as it's another one of those, I was expecting to be a little bit more impactful, kind of like the Corduroy from the Emily Edits palette, but I do, can we not? But I do like it. I would say that honestly the Very Cute is my favorite because it's definitely a lot more purple in nature, but I really do like this Lovely's palette. I like all of the palettes. The formulation is impeccable. I love Colored Raine's formula. They're extremely pigmented, both the mattes and the shimmers, and they just work beautifully with how I apply eyeshadow with my complexion, all of that jazz. So I would recommend these palettes. Just kind of, if you're not a collector of Colored Raine, go based on the coloring clearly and figure out which one works best for you. If you guys want me to do tutorials on each individual shade or palette, just let me know. I'm fair game to do it. I just need to know if you guys are into it. Okay, and then the last palette that I have to talk about is the one that most likely you guys don't even care about anymore. It's the Dose of Colors I Love Sahari palette, and this palette is okay. I don't know what made me really need this palette. I really genuinely don't know, because this is basic and neutral and I don't know. I hate this color right here. I don't think it has a name. It does have a name. I think it's Finders Keepers. I hate this. I hate this color with all of my heart. I dislike matte shadows with shimmer in it because regardless of what I do, putting those on my eyes, I don't get the shimmer. So it's pointless, and then it just falls onto your... I dislike that. This blue is beautiful. I was expecting a different color, but I like the color, and then all the other shadows are basic and normal. So I mean, this is an okay palette. If you don't have a palette with a pop of blue, then I'd say go for it, but this has been a thing for a while, so I don't think very many people really needed this palette unless they were like diehard neutral with a pop of blue or really wanted to support I Love Sahari. So that's kind of how I feel about this palette. That's how I feel about all of my palettes. Those are all the palettes that I have to review right now. I of course have palettes waiting for me to review for the next one. I have about 4 or 5 that I have ready to be tested out. And yeah, I hope that this video, not talking about everything, cut it down a little bit more. I didn't want this to be a super long video, especially because of the weather. I know my lighting is trash. And yeah, it has been real, y'all. Peace.